Before the Allies freed Jews from concentration camps during World War II, America had already created concentration camps of its own for Japanese Americans. The Tule Lake concentration camp site in Northern California was designated as a national monument in 2008. Here we see a photo of a woman being processed, her fingerprints taken at the campsite. From 1942 to 1946, approximately 18,700 people were in prison there. Our project is entitled Revisiting Segregation Through Computational History, the case of the World War II Japanese-American Tule Lake Segregation Center. By segregation center, we mean the one of the 10 sites where prisoners were sent if they incorrectly answered a government questionnaire. By computational history, we mean finding stories through data. This is a visual presentation of our project. We will be working with photos and archival artifacts and evidence, as seen here. And some of these are incident cards found at the National Archives. Those incident cards are documents of incidents that happened at Tule Lake. And each incident has a story. And there's a dozen boxes of those incident cards that have not been looked at much at all. And of course, the map that you see behind there is a map of the Tule Lake site. And the overarching question that one of the questions that we're going to be asking is, how do we innovatively integrate these diverse documents and data sets? What do we propose? We seek to investigate the integration of archival and user-contributed data by proposing to prototype an interface that links people, places, and events from distributed sources related to the Tule Lake concentration camp site. And I say concentration camp site because that's what Franklin Roosevelt called it. That's what survivors of the camp still call it. So that's what I'm going to respect. Who is involved? The College of Information Studies and the College of Journalism. We have an undergrad and graduate students and a professor from each respective school. Our partners include the National Park Service as well as the National Archives Record Administration, both of whom we've had lengthy conversations with. The National Park Service, in fact, was not aware of the incident cards that I had pointed to earlier. They are a relatively new national park site, so not a lot of research has been done. And so they are very excited about what we've already discovered. The National Archives as well has expressed that some of the archival evidence that we have found already has rarely been looked at, if ever. So how specifically do we plan to utilize these items? At NARA, there's an online catalog of internee lists of names, enrollment records, incident cards, hundreds of photos, the site map that I had pointed to earlier, as well as publicly available archival online databases, including Dinsho, the Japanese Ancestry Legacy Project, the Bancroft Library, and there's many others. Some of the tools that we'll be using: network analysis, GIS, visualization, journalistic inquiry, historical and textual analysis, all will contribute to this computational history, this computational journalism. Some of the challenging questions that we are seeking to answer include, how can we unlock the archive and raise further historical questions about American identity through computational journalism? How can we integrate official history with participatory history? How will we grapple with questions of privacy policy? And how can the Freedom of Information Act be harnessed to provide transparent access to the archive? Here's a photo of two women, thank you, two women of Japanese ancestry pause from their potato harvesting to pose for this picture. It's a polite caption, but these are inmates, these are prisoners, and I would love to talk with them. I would love to know more about their history. And that's one of the questions we've asked ourselves, including these two final questions. What is the best way to represent the culture of the Tule Lake concentration camp site from 1942 to 1946, based upon the archival documents and photos? Also, how do we continue to tell the story of Tule Lake that encourages and maximizes access to American history?